Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Face Your Facebook Fears, social media fundraising from setup to success. My name is Dana Snyder. And if you'll notice, Tony is over in the corner, if you can see him from Fundraise. And we are going to jump in and do something pretty cool today. And one of the reasons that I love their tool is there's a very cool, easy, simple to use connection between setting up your Facebook fundraisers for donations and your Facebook ads and being able to see all of that tracked in the Fundraise platform. So essentially today, this is what we're doing. I am going to show you the step-by-step process of how you can attract new donors using social media ads. So we're going to build one together. We're going to go step-by-step through Ads Manager to build social media ads. And then we're going to show you how you can track results with Fundraise. And so Tony is going to dive into showing you the behind the scenes. I'm a very visual learner, so I hope this is helpful for a lot of you too. He's going to show you the behind the scenes of Fundraise and how the two complement and integrate together. Also, at the end, as I mentioned, I love learning from examples and seeing how organizations have done this. So before you leave today, I will be sharing with you this free bonus handout. And what it is there's 4 different types of ads that I've done a review on for all different things. So you can run social media ads for many more things than just donations. And so I show you 4 examples of how you can do that in this download. And I will share that with you at the end. And if we have not met before, hi, my name is Dana Snyder, and I'm the CEO and founder of Positive Equation. I started my company 5 years ago. This is actually the 5-year birthday month, which is super exciting, helping nonprofits with their digital strategies. I have gotten to do a lot of amazing things, from being a digital producer on American Idol. You'll see Luke Bryan and Lionel Richie in your top left-hand corner. I worked on Good Morning America. I lived in Los Angeles, New York City. I am now based in Atlanta, and I've worked with some really incredible organizations that you now see on the screen. So I am very fortunate to have worked on a lot of these organizations' digital campaigns, running social media ads, running one-off campaigns, doing digital audits. So very excited to share with you some information on this today. Oh, I love that. No wonder I love everything you say. I'm a former TV producer turned PR marketer. That's awesome. Yeah, it's kind of fun when you get to work in the for-profit, nonprofit space, because I believe we are all businesses and there are so many things that we can learn from both sectors. It's all the same. We are asking for a donation versus a product, and there's a lot of things that cross over. So that's so cool that you did that. So I want to know if this sounds like you. Shout me down in the chat. I love to have interactive sessions. So give some exclamation marks if you need new donors again, right? If you're like, all right, here we go again. I'm going to crack open that bottle of wine. We're going to start emailing my list. I'm going to start doing calls. I'm going to start reaching out to businesses. I'm going to do some organic social media posts. And you're like, oh my gosh, I just did this like a month ago when we had our last campaign, right? Does anybody agree with me? Give me some exclamation marks in the chat if you can agree, and if you're nodding your head, because this training is for you if you are that person, right? If you're a nonprofit, any size team, and you have the desire to scale your organization and really grow brand recognition, then this training was put together for you. The method that we're going to be sharing with you today can be used to reach numerous goals, but the ad that I'm going to walk you through is specifically designed today for a one-time gift from a warm audience. So an audience that already knows you. Okay. And this is put together for you if you want something straightforward. I am always down to show you something simple and stress-free and repeatable, right? That you can use social media to keep growing your organization. And if you feel like you're just doing the constant social media churn of organic content that all the time, and you're not sure if it's actually working, this gives you proven data to know if it is, which I love. I love data and I love numbers. So I want to share a quick example with you of a campaign that I ran back in 2019, just as an example. The organization was called Newsmatch. They are the largest grassroots campaign to support nonprofit news. And in 2019, they wanted to spark a conversation, generate brand awareness, and they wanted to increase donations and support the nonprofit newsrooms around the country. So we launched a digital ad campaign kind of based on the method that I'm sharing with you today. So We decided to run Facebook and Instagram ads to reach these goals that they set out to do. And what you're seeing here on the left-hand side is a video. I know you can't see that it's a video, but that is a video that was running a screenshot. So we created a video, and on the right-hand side, you'll see we did carousel posts. These are in Google Docs when we were going through the review and the brainstorm of the ads, not when they were actually launched. But this just shows you what our creative was. And we wanted to make sure that our first video ad was running to a cold audience. And then we retargeted that brand new audience with these carousel posts to get them to donate. So they were seeing us multiple times on their feed. And I want to show you what this looks like. So that first step, right, we created that really impactful video to run on Facebook and Instagram with. So the first 3 ads that you're seeing here highlighted in orange, these were meant to strictly get video views. These were not meant to get donations. We ran a video view campaign. So what you're looking at was we had over 80,000 video views here with about a $1,500 spend. So amount spent on the left, on the right, you see our results. That equals about 2 cents per view. I'm actually running a campaign right now for another nonprofit, and we are still getting 2 to 3 cents per video view. So this is a really great campaign to run if you're just looking for brand recognition to grow awareness about your organization, is a video view campaign. So that was the first thing we did. We made sure we were gathering a lot of views on our content to retarget these people. All right. Next, what we did is we ran a set of ads for a conversion for a donation. Now, what you see on the screen, it says purchases, those equal a donation. So we spent about $772, again, all the way on the left side. We received 17 donations, what you're seeing under results. And our average gift was about $117, totaling that 2,000 amount that you see there on the bottom. So this was incredible, right? So if we really break this down, we spent $772 to get 17 donations, which equaled about $45 per gift. So it cost us $45 to get one new donor. I want to pause because I think this is something that it's very hard sometimes to track in the nonprofit space, is how much did it cost us? What was our cost per acquisition for a new donor? That can be difficult, right? That can be hours spent drafting multiple emails. You're not sure how many emails they opened. Did they go to an event and maybe they didn't donate there? How much time in staff hours is right? That's hard to calculate. But when you're running Facebook ads, this is a very easy thing because it's showcased to you clearly in the data. So all of this happened without posting on their feeds, right? This all happened by running an ad campaign. And this is a process that can be replicated over and over and over again. I set this ad and then it ran, right? So we raised $2,000. And imagine also if that was recurring donors. So it could be $45 cost for that one-time gift, but what if that person gives $117 every month, right? That's a totally different story. And that's the data that you're going to be able to track in Fundraise, which is awesome. And Tony's going to share in a minute. So that's, I know, very heavy into data, but I wanted to show that example, just how powerful ads can be. But you may be thinking, and I wanted to, before we get to the how of today's discussion, I'm going to flip over to Ads Manager in a second. But you might have some preconceptions about ads. All right. So here's a few of the common myths that I often hear. Number 1, boosting posts is the same or better than running ads. In the chat, has anybody done boosted posts before? Any boosted points? Because there's a few key differences between boosting and truly running ads. And here's just a few reasons why. One big difference is ad creation. A boosted post, right? You have posted something organically on your Facebook page, and then you've applied spend to it. Yep, I have, and I still sometimes, but yeah, ads are better. They are better, right? So you can apply a budget to that boosted post versus you're creating an ad in Ads Manager. We've boosted, got better results from ads. Yes, exactly. And here's another reason why. Ad objectives. So when you're boosting posts, you have not a lot of options on what you want that ad to do, the direction that you're giving it essentially. With ads, you have many more options of the control of what you want the goal to be for that ad. And then lastly, what I think the biggest difference is placement. When you boost a post on Facebook or Instagram, you have the news feed on Instagram, and Messenger is where it's going to go. With ads, there are, and you'll see just in a second when I open up Ads Manager, there's even more than this now. This graphic is a little outdated because now we have reels, we have stories. There are a ton of different placements that your ad can potentially be seen, and you can choose that. I have a client right now that I'm working with. We're looking to attract teenagers. We are only running our ads on reels and stories. We are not even putting our ads on news feeds because that's not really where they are, right? So you can control that within Ads Manager. Myth number 2, ads are expensive, right? So let's get real and let's talk about money, because I know dollars are super precious and it's important that we understand the costs. So this is what's possible. These are based on true, real results. $50 can equal 65 website click-throughs to your site. So I have seen super low cost to a website clicks. This middle one is active. This is the campaign I am literally running right now. We've spent $626.69. I pulled it just yesterday, and we have over 22,000 video views. Again, this is between 2 to 3 cents per video view. Exactly what I showed in 2019 is still relevant in 2022. And then $45 spend can equal a new donor. And that's amazing ROI proof that you can share with board of directors, that you can share with NAD to be able to justify your ad spend. Also, this is pulled from the 2020 M&R benchmarks study, but I just wanted to share with you here in 2020, this was the cost again per acquisition for a donor. So if you look here in the orange box under social media, it says $40 was the average. On the left-hand side, what it's showing you in the rows is different cause areas. So disaster, international aid, environmental health. I'm sure right now with everything going on in the world with Ukraine, the cost per acquisition is probably significantly lower because there is a significant need right now. So this is an important number to look at annually for your organization because it ebbs and it flows based upon what's going on in the world. So this is not something to gauge. If you start running an ad right now and it's super difficult for you, it could be because of what's happening in the world, right? Versus if you're waiting a little bit and things even out, then it could be different. So again, you want to run ads at different times to be able to see what your true cost per acquisition is. Myth number 3, my follower size is too small. Big, like not true at all. Your follower size has zero factor on the success of your ads. You can be an organization that is just starting out with 200 followers, or you can have 200 million. It doesn't matter. Any size works. So what I want to do here before I jump into Ads Manager is I want to go over a couple terminology for Facebook, just so we're all on the same page. The first one is Facebook Ads Manager. So this is your home base where you should be managing all of your ad accounts, your pages, creating your ads. If you do not have an account, you want to go to business.facebook.com. So what the screenshot that you see here is what you should see, what it should look like when you're creating your ads. So that's number 1. So if you do not already have an ads account, just jot down that link, business.facebook.com. And then secondly is a Facebook pixel. This is really important to have on your site. And essentially what it is it's a few lines of code from Facebook that you copy into your website. This code allows Facebook to receive information about the actions taken on your site to really make them more relevant for your audience, for you can retarget people. What's cool though, is the trick that we're going to show you today, it doesn't matter about the pixel. You do want to have it on there to capture additional data, but this trick that we're going to show you actually gives you more direct data than the pixel because of all the iOS changes. I have someone doing SEO. Should I ask them about Facebook Pixel? I've never heard of it. Potentially, I don't know if someone with SEO would know about a Facebook pixel. A developer might. You can ask them. There are some great resources for you to be able to, and I can try and put one in the chat once we get there for a link on how to set that up. But essentially, when you do have it set up, as you can see here on my screen, you'll be able to tell if it's activated on your site or not in the back end of Ads Manager, if it's working. And so this you can set up for tracking buttons. You can set it up just to track pages. So if somebody goes to your donation page, you can retarget them. Anytime that you go to any business's website and then you go to Facebook or Instagram and then you see that company, that's what they're doing. They're being able to retarget you, and that's what's happening. Next term is custom audiences versus saved. So today we're going to be focused on custom audiences because we want to work with the warm audiences that are already within your network. So they are audiences that are either generated from your pixel, they have engaged with you on Facebook or Instagram before or watched one of your videos, or you can even upload a CSV file of your email list and you can retarget people from your email list as well. A saved audience is one you built from scratch. So this is, you could search the whole globe if you wanted to, and you can shrink it down by interests. And I will show you what I mean in a second in Ads Manager. So those are the three terms I wanted to go over. Let me know if you have any questions on those. Our goal today. So the ad that we are going to run and set up, these are our three goals. We are going to target an engaged audience that already knows us, AKA our warm audience. We are going to build a conversion campaign, which means we are asking for a donation, a one-time gift. And you are going to learn then how to track those donations in Fundraise, which makes it super powerful for your team to track on the back end. Okay. So how are we going to do this? I want to introduce something to you that you might not have heard of before, but it's actually more common than you think. And now when you look at URLs, you might even see this integrated. And it's called a UTM parameter. So essentially, they are a simple, really straightforward, and honestly, really reliable way to track traffic online. They are not affected by the changes of Facebook Pixel or what Facebook and Apple are deciding to do. They work with Google Analytics. So it is beautiful, and it's something super easy that you can do on every single ad you run. So they are providing you with the most precise data about traffic as possible. And when you decide to get more in depth, they can allow you to do some really clever A/B testing things with your ads and your content. So what does this mean and look like in Facebook? So when you go into Facebook Ads Manager, again, I'm going to show all of this in just a second. You'll be able to create your own UTM, and they make it super simple. They give you this kind of graph here on the left-hand side that you're able to enter a campaign source, medium, campaign name, and campaign content. So what I've done on the right-hand side is I've made up a campaign for us. When we talk about campaign source, this in our case is going to be Facebook. So it will always, you can always put Facebook in there. Facebook also does something kind of cool where they allow you to enter in dynamic content so it can change. And I'll show you that as well. So that's what campaign medium is. So here, this means, is the ad running on Facebook newsfeed? Is it a story? Is it a reel? Facebook can tell that for you. So that's why I put placements, and that will be automatically selected. So if you choose to let Facebook dictate, I'm going to let it go in all of these different placements. If you just put in placements right there, it's going to tell you which ad it was. Campaign name. So for the sake of today's example, I made up a dog organization because I have a Labradoodle. And so I'm pretending that our campaign today, I work for a Labradoodle, let's just call it Labradoodle Rescue Organization. And our campaign is for adoption. And our campaign content, my dog's name is Malo. And so our content has Malo on it. So therefore, he is going to be in our image. And that's why I called it that content. It could be anything specific. It could be blue button or green picture or whatever you want in that campaign content area. And then just to show you what this looks like, when it's all put together, this is how it breaks down. I kind of color coded these, so I hope it helps a little bit. You'll have your normal URL, www.thegreatestnonprofitintheworld, right? .org / you're going to take them right to your donate page. And then that source, this is automatically going to populate for you. So you don't have to worry about writing this down. But the campaign source is first, that says Facebook. It's going to automatically populate the placement, right? So here I just put Facebook newsfeed for an example. Then we have the campaign name, which is adoption, and then content, which is Malo. All right. Any questions? I think it'll make more sense once I go through it step by step, because the best part is that Facebook honestly creates all of this for you. So I know it sounds like a lot, but when you're in the platform, it's pretty straightforward. So I'm going to go ahead while I'm doing this switch. I'm going to share with you that little handout I mentioned in the chat. So everyone, so let me go ahead and stop sharing and switch my screen. And please let me know if you have questions as I go through this. Okay. Can everyone see Ads Manager? Okay. Yep. Great. Cool. Okay. So what we're going to do, I am in, let me move the chat over. I am in the back end of my business account. And I talked about creating a warm audience. So that's the first thing that we want to do. Now, if you have not run an ads before, don't let all of this intimidate you. Yours might just be blank. These are just all of these different rows are campaigns that I have run in the past. What you're going to want to do on this left-hand side, there's what I call a hamburger menu, which is these 3 lines. You're going to click on all tools and you're going to click on audiences. So from here, again, if you have not done this before, you might not see any of these audiences that I have created in the past, but this is where you're going to set up that warm audience we were talking about. So we're going to click create audience, and you'll see here we have that custom audience we talked about. We have saved audience, and then don't worry about these 2 for right now. So I'm going to go into custom audience, and you'll see here there are a bunch of different options of how you can reach audiences that might have participated with your organization. So for today's example, I'm going to do Instagram account, click next, and then I can select when it populates. I'm going to go to my business. You will only see yours. By the way, on here, you will not see a bunch of other accounts. This is because I have access to a lot of people's ads manager to run ads for them. So I'm going to click on my company. And I can select that I want to target anybody who has engaged with my Instagram account, anyone who has visited my account, engaged with a post or ad, who sent a message. So there's a lot of options, but I'm going to leave it with engaged. Somebody who's engaged with my account. I would title this Instagram engaged, and I could even put March 2022. I already have this audience created, so I'm not going to hit create. But essentially you would just hit create audience and that would be set up. And I would do the same thing for Facebook. So when you go to Facebook page, again, I'm going to go find positive equation. And then same thing. It's automatically selected to anyone who's engaged with my page. Something I do want to note here that is pretty, let me see. Oh, it won't show on mine because I'm not a nonprofit. Let me go to a nonprofit real quick. So Dress for Success. You will have the option for these last 2, which is pretty cool. Facebook allows you to retarget people who have donated to your page or who have created fundraisers for your page before. These are 2 pretty new options, just to note that they are there. So if you wanted to include them here, you could, because they are a warm audience. Or you can also just stick with anyone who's engaged with your page. Same thing, Facebook, engaged, March 2022. However you prefer to label these. And again, you would create audience. You can do the same thing for your website. You can do the same thing to upload an email list. Here's the customer list. So there's a bunch of different options for you to be able to create warm audiences, people who already know who you are. All right. So once you have those audiences created, I'm going to go back into Ads Manager and let's create this ad. So I'm going to click on create. This blue or green button. And you'll see 3 different main columns here: awareness, consideration, and conversion. So because we already have a warm audience, I'm not looking to raise awareness right now or consideration. I want a conversion. I want a donation. So I'm going to click conversion. And here you can choose to name the campaign. So I'm just going to do test because this is not actually going to go live. Adoption Malo. And then ad set, I'm going to name these actually when I get to them. So I'm just going to do the first one. Click continue. And you're going to go into your ads creation. I am not going to touch anything on this first screen. Okay, I'm going to leave this as it is. You don't have to touch anything. I'm going to hit next. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to name it. So my ad campaign, this is going to be warm audience. And let's just say I was going to do Facebook, Instagram, and email list. Okay, those are going to be my 3 audiences. So what I want to have happen, I'm going to select my pixel. My conversion event, you would have under here, donate. That's not relevant for my organization. So I'm just going to do, well, here, you know what? I can do it because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on, and then daily budget. So I'm going to set this as, if $40 was the average cost per conversion, let's just say I'm going to run this at, I'm going to do $60 a day. And I'm going to run it for 2 weeks. Again, this can vary for every organization. So you set your budget, you set your length, and then I'm going to go into my audience. Rule of thumb for, there used to be this old practice of you need to run ads for 3 to 4 days to start to see results. Now it's really based on impressions. So you want 2,000 to 3,000 people to see your ads before you change them. Do not change them until it reaches that many people, because Facebook is still learning. And just so you know, the average cost to reach about 1,000 people varies, but it can be $9 to $20-ish. It really depends. There's this really great site. Let me just see if I can pull it up. It's called Revelbot. And this gives you, and I'll put this in the chat. You can search by, so right now, cost per impression right now for Facebook, the average is about $14. And you can do the same thing for Instagram. It's about $10. This is what I kind of look at to gauge. So you want to make sure that if you know for Facebook, you need to be spending double or triple this amount to be able to garner enough data for Facebook to give back to you. Okay, let's go back to our ad. Just wanted to do a quick note about that. So we have our budget, we have our time frame. Now we need to enter our audience. So we already have our custom audiences. So all I'm going to do here for search existing audiences is hover over, and it's going to pre-populate for me. Here's my Facebook engaged, Instagram engaged. So I'm just going to click on each of them. And I also wanted email list. So I'm just going to pick this one. And it's not showing me anything on the right-hand side because remember, I don't have donate data. So don't worry about this on the right-hand side for right now. And so I have my audiences in here. Location, United States. That's correct. I'm going to leave my age range wide open because it's based on my audience. And then I'm going to go down to my placements. So this is where I was showing, these are all the different places that an ad can possibly be seen. This is why it's so different than boosting posts. So dependent on your audience and the content that you're looking to show, this might all change. You can leave it on as automatic by Facebook, or you can go in and manually pick and choose where you want it to run. Just for the ease of today, I'm going to leave it as automatic placement. And then I'm going to go ahead and click next. Now here's the real fun part. This is where we get to build our creative. So I'm going to make sure I have my Facebook and my Instagram account created. I'm going to name this ad Adoption Malo. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to turn off dynamic formats and creative. This is something a little bit more advanced. So I'm going to turn this off for right now. We're going to do a single image for this ad. You can also do video. And then I'm going to remove, we do not have a product catalog. So I'm going to delete that. So what we want to do here is on the right-hand side, my ad is going to populate. So I need to pick my image. So I'm going to go down to media. and I'm going to add my image. I had already uploaded it. I called it my fake ad. So here's our puppy. I'm going to click next and done. So right here, here's my beautiful $25 gift helps Malo prepare for a safe home with his new family. It's showing you here all the different placements it'll be in. We need to add some copy here. So I created some copy in advance. So I'm just going to copy and paste this over. So there is an option here where you can do multiple types of primary text to test copy. But for today's example, again, I'm just going to do one. So we have here, rally your friends and family to raise $250 with a Facebook fundraiser. We have 20 pups like Malo waiting for a home, et cetera, right? So I just made up some copy. I'm going to do a headline. Actually, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to make it even simpler. For Malo, exclamation mark. Okay. My headline is protect a safe home, or provide a safe home for Malo. Perfect. Now I'm going to go down my call to action button. Right now it says shop now. That is not accurate. So we need to go down and change that. And we're going to want it to be donate now. So this is our button. Okay. Now this is where the UTM comes into play. So here it says website URL. So I'm going to go ahead and just make up an organization. So let's do www.mygreatnonprofit.com. Actually, Tony, did you use a specific URL? Does it matter? Okay. So we have mygreatnonprofit.com/donate. Awesome. Now we want to make sure that we are tracking this ad within Fundraise, right? So we want to click on build a URL parameter. Here's our nifty tool that I was just talking about. So here, campaign source. Again, as you notice, when I click on it, it pre-populates some dynamic elements for you, but we want source to be Facebook. And what's happening is as I enter things, so let me just like randomly write things, you'll see it change down at the bottom. So it's creating that unique URL for you. So we have Facebook, our medium. This was going to be where I'm allowing it to be dynamic because we selected automatic placement. This could be on Instagram, on Facebook. So this is going to be placement. Campaign name, we said this was called adoption. And then our content is Malo. I could, if I was testing, just an example, in this graphic, I'm using that kind of yellow, orange square. I could test, I could do like Malo orange. And I could, a separate ad, I could do Malo with a blue square. And maybe people donate more with the blue square versus the orange square, right? And you can track all of that. So for now, I'm just going to do Malo. And you'll see here down at the bottom, we have the URL created. I'm going to hit apply. And that's it. That's it. You're done. At this point, you have your beautiful ad. We can even expand it if you want to see it in full view. This would be the ad on mobile. This is what it looks like on desktop. Cute puppy. You can see it on Instagram. So it allows you to preview what your ad looks like. And then at this point, you'd be all set and you would hit publish. And then your ad would start to run and that's it. Any questions on that process? I saw, how do we get to this screen? So this is all within, and I'll just put a link here, business.facebook.com. When you create your ad account, that will allow you to open up this ads manager. And I'm going to go ahead and Tony, can I switch it over to you? Awesome. All right. So now Tony's going to share with you the awesome amount of data that you can pull into Fundraise with this ad. All right, go for it.
Perfect. Okay. Hey, everybody. I'm Tony. Thank you, Dana. That was wonderful. I have experience running Facebook ads. I have experience running creative and marketing teams, as well as on the fundraising side. So I'm hoping to sort of combine what Dana showed with sort of how you'd make sense of this data, how you can present this to your board, how you can really move forward with a campaign like this. A few things I want to touch on really quickly before we really dive in to the fun stuff is I want to give like a quick 60-second overview of what Fundraise is so everyone understands what this is. No one's confused as I'm clicking around the platform. I want to take a little bit more opportunity to double click on why UTMs are so powerful, whether or not you're using a Facebook campaign. And then we're going to do the fun stuff. We'll jump into dashboards and look at our charts light up. So Very quickly, let me just give a quick introduction of Fundraise. If you're unfamiliar, Fundraise is a fundraising solution for nonprofits of all sizes. We specialize in front-end fundraising. So what that means is donation forms, campaign sites with progress bars, peer-to-peer fundraising, events and ticketing, and other sort of front-end tools, as well as really robust back-end data management tools. So if you can see all your donors, you can see their transactions, and anything you need for donor management. So as a quick example, I'll just dive in. Here we are looking at transactions. These are all the donations to our organization, right? And so I can see all my individual donations. Furthermore, I can click on an individual donation and sort of edit information about this or see the details. And I click here to show what part of the details of a transaction are the UTMs that Dana shared about. As well, I can see the URL of this specific donation. I'll just side note this, that seeing the URL of your donations is incredibly powerful. Every donation in Fundraise shows the URL. So it's very easy to say, what is the most valuable page of my website? Great, start driving traffic there, right? So Fundraise holds all of this data that allows you to make sense of it. So that's just transactions, and I won't dig too much into the rest of this. I'll pretty much stop the preview of what Fundraise is here, but I do want to also communicate Fundraise is a robust donor management tool. So if I come in and click on any of our supporters here, I can see their contact information, their transactions, any transactions that have been soft credited to them, their recurring subscriptions, any fundraising pages, any event tickets. Like you can see, every interaction with their organization is tracked and visible here. So that's just sort of an overview of what Fundraise is. Now, I talked about us specializing in sort of the campaign sites and sort of donation forms. It is so critical if you are spending money on advertisement that where you are driving someone is a very high quality and branded experience. They need to be going to somewhere where it's immediately recognizable. The way that we talk about this in the marketing world is, are you answering the question? And what that means is, what did your ad tell the user they were going to do? What did the user click on your ad for? Because the page they land on must answer that. If it's a donation request, there must be a donation here. If it's learn more, then they need to go to a program page. So our tool will allow you to create exactly specific campaigns with all that branding, with that content, with that information. I see a bunch of questions coming in. I'm gonna circle back on all of those. They're actually very good questions. So I want to circle back. Give me 1 second on those, but keep them coming. So what we're looking at here is a Fundraise campaign site editor. This is where you can jump into Fundraise and build a specific landing page. Now, sometimes you want to drive people directly to your website. That's not always the case. Sometimes you just need to spin up a summer campaign, a recurring campaign, and that can be handled through Fundraise as well. So Fundraise provides easy templates to build your campaigns on. This is a specific template. We're actually going to make a donation on this live page in just a moment. You can see if you wanted to start with a template, you just select which template you want. In fact, the campaign that we're building right now is actually donation impact levels. That's the template we're using, and all I've done is change the colors and added a few images here. So an example of changing colors is changing the color palette, selecting my site typography. I just show this to show this is the type of stuff you want to consider when you're driving ads, right? This stuff has to match your organization. There can be trust is incredibly important when people are landing on your website. They want to know, yes, this is the place I came to. I'm ready to give at this time. So outside of just setting those things really quickly, I want to show sort of why this is important or how easy it is to build that experience. So each of these sections I can come in, I can change the colors of them based on my theme. If you've ever used Squarespace, it's very similar. As well, if I don't like what's on this template, no problem. I can come on, I can add other sections, I can add images, I can add more videos. In fact, time on page is something that will tell Facebook whether this is valuable content, right? So adding videos, adding content, this is very high quality content that's going to sort of drive, not only convert donations, but tell Google that, hey, this is a really important page. When people want this type of information, put this page, put just the link up higher on the Google search. You can also add progress bars, donation feeds. This is what we call social proof, right? So if I land on your page and I see a bunch of other people are donating, I'm more interested, right? No one donates, no one wants like to donate into a space with crickets. So social proof tools as well. So there's a lot more you can do. I won't dive into sort of the details of this, but I just wanted to show this is built in Fundraise. Anybody can do this. This is not something you have to, there's not a lick of code on this page. It's all just clicking big buttons. So if I jump over to the actual live campaign, this is the page we were just building. right? This is the page where we'll make a donation on. You can see we have our donation form here, and it's actually what we were building previously. Now, before I move on and make the donation, I just want to show, these are your UTMs, right? These are simply just parameters on the link. So if this person clicked on a Facebook ad, these parameters are going to be appended to the link. And this just happens to be our demo root URL that we're using. I want to step back for just 1 second to make sure we all understand that UTMs are not specific to Facebook. UTMs are a universal tracking metric. And what that means is you should be using them for every link you ever put out into the internet. It's not just a running ads type of thing. So as an example, if you are sending out an email newsletter once a month, every link in your email newsletter should contain UTMs with information about the source and about the content. The reason why is because people are going to donate from that link. And now you have all of that information. So whether you put a link out on organic social media, or you put it into an email, or you are texting it to people, make sure that these UTMs are always here. I'll talk about some other cool tools to help you build these. Do not be afraid of UTMs. I cannot stress that enough. There is nothing code or magic about UTMs. A UTM is simply UTM source equals Facebook. That's it. It's literally as simple as that. So I'll cover some of the questions that I know have come up specifically about UTMs in just a moment. So a donor comes to your website, they make a donation. Let's just do that really quick. It's worth noting there's a lot you can do with the donation form. This is the donation Fundraise's donation form in its simplest method. You can add custom questions and do employer giving, all these types of things. Right now, it's just a very simple form. So I'll just move forward, and then we'll use a demo card for this. Make our quick donation. Okay, and while that's submitting, we will jump back into Fundraise to sort of look at what that information looks like. So good, so I just wanted to show that example. That's the type of experience you need to be providing your donors if you're going to spend money on an ad. They need to come to the site, clear button to donate, beautiful experience, right? That goes so far into converting visitors into donors. So wonderful, now let's jump back into Fundraise. We discard any changes, and just to prove it, I'll show you that. Let's see here. Yep, here's my transaction that I just made. And the details on that are right here. That's exactly what was in the URL. So that's fun, that's exciting. Is it enough? Not yet. It's really painful to look at every single donation, right? So let's talk about the simplest way then to sort of make sense of some of that data. So Fundraise transactions, like I mentioned, can be filtered various parameters. You can see all the UTM parameters here. So if I say, let's show me all the stuff that's come over on Facebook. Okay, no problem. We just create our list, click apply, and I can see, good, we've brought in $5,000. If I wanted to say, you know what, well, we spent $2,000 over the last month, no problem. Add a donation date filter in here and see exactly sort of, oh, we've made $4,000 over the last month. Good. 200% on your ROI, right? So it's very easy to see that. You can save this list. It can be referenced again in the future. This is a sort of a feature of Fundraise where you can build pre-filtered lists and save them, and they're dynamic. So it's really, really efficient. So now we're getting into the very, very fun stuff. I know I'm going really fast, but there's just so much good stuff about this. So please ask questions. Again, I'll jump back into the questions in a moment. But now I want to jump into what is called fundraising intelligence. This is a reporting and dashboarding module that comes with Fundraise. So Fundraise, to start out, will provide a bunch of templates. So these are familiar to you all: live buntees, side buntees, URL metrics, month over month metrics. These are templates that just exist in the platform, right? You can just click on these and get into them. For today's session, I've built a custom dashboard called Marketing Performance. So we'll click into our Marketing Performance dashboard. I'm going to go all through this, and it's a lot, but it's really exciting. And I want to show you kind of, and hopefully help you think about how, beyond just Facebook, how to think about how your marketing is performing or your spend is performing. So like I mentioned, UTMs are for everything, right? So this could be just a Facebook dashboard, but I've expanded that to sort of say, you know what, we're spending money everywhere. Where are our donations coming from? How are we making sense of this? So if I wanted to filter this just towards Facebook, I could easily come down and say, well, just show me my Facebook stuff here, right? Like I'd easily add that filter in there, and then it would change the parameters. But I don't want to filter it, so I'm going to remove all this. And I'm going to go kind of behind the thinking of how this is built and why you should look at your marketing dashboard in this way. Top two widgets: total amount and donations by month. Always start a dashboard at the top level with a complete overview of what the heck is happening. And then we're going to dive down into detail further. So the most top level is show me all of my marketing donations. How much has come in over our marketing efforts? And we've got that number. We've got 13.8. The next thing I highly suggest is always looking at your performance over time. You're going to start to see patterns in your own donor base that's different for every organization. In this example, I'm showing the sort of volume of donations by month. And remember, this is all demo data, so it's not real. So you have a spike here in March just because I was punching in a bunch of donations for today's session. If you're running a monthly campaign, look at donation volume by day. You're going to find patterns that are like, whoa, our donor base is donating at like 5 o'clock on Wednesdays. We don't know why, and you don't need to know why. You can just use that information to help inform your next campaign. Now we're moving into the fun stuff. So, okay, we understand we have 13.8 brought in through our marketing spend in our performance. Where's that coming from, right? And this is where UTMs come in. UTMs will tell you, you got a donation and it came from email. You got a donation and it came from Facebook. And then this is just summarizing all of that information. So if I click into one of these indicators here, I'll click into Facebook as an example. There's a lot you can do with these charts. Don't get distracted by all the buttons. I'll just show you the very important things. All I'm doing is saying, hey, give me a number, an indicator that is the total amount that I've brought in through Facebook. And all I'm doing is saying, give me the total donation volume and filter that volume by only donations that have the UTM source of Facebook. And that's going to sort of tell me, these are the amounts of volume from Facebook. Now, if you're looking at like calculating your ROI, that's really easy. If you build this dashboard for a specific campaign, you know you're going to spend $5,000, right, on your ROI. And that's what I would suggest is build a dashboard per campaign or per season, right? Okay, you know what, for Facebook, this quarter, we're going to do $3,000. Easy. Come into your max here, right, which is your indicator, and you can easily throw in the number plus whatever you want to raise on top of that. And so basically, if you reach this goal, you'll have reached your spend amount plus more. So you can really easily sort of report back. I know ROI is always a thing when we're spending on ads. This is an easy way to sort of see that balance inside of Fundraise. So I'll back out of that and then just double click on a dashboard without goals is useless, right? You cannot just look at what's happening without knowing where you're trying to go. So that's why it's really important to understand and always point to what are we trying to do and how are we performing against those metrics. So I'll go on a little bit more, and then I do want to jump back to make sure we have some time for questions because I know we're getting close. After we see the overall view, Fundraise makes it very possible to dig into exactly what you want to see. It's very easy and logical to build these sort of reports. So here I'm looking at, well, show me my breakdown of donations by source. Okay, good. I've got that here. Wow, 50% of my donations are actually driven by our email. That's not uncommon. That will help you make decisions about who you're hiring for your team, where you're spending money on resources, right? Furthermore, if I come over and to look at the right side here, I have donation summary by source. And this is telling me, oh, sorry, I have a misspelling in there. Sorry, y'all. That will happen. So if you're not spelling your UTMs correctly, this is exactly what's going to happen. So be careful. I have by UTM, I have the total amount. I have the recurring amount that was brought in by that source. And then I have the average amount and donation count. So let's just step back and think, well, how would I use this? Okay, if we have understood that it generally takes about $40 to $50 to get a donation on spend, right? And that's a known metric across the industry generally. Well, all of my average donation sizes for these campaigns are well north of 100. We are doing excellent, right? So this is how you can understand, hey, we're spending about $50 to get a donation, but our average donations are double that. So let's keep on spending here, right? It can help you make those types of decisions. And now I will step back in just 1 minute, I promise. The last thing I would suggest here is also donations by campaign. So you can build a report for any of these UTM metrics, but campaign is really good because what you're going to find out is people will give differently based on what you are telling them. So in this example, this is fake data, but we can see, you know what? Adoption didn't really spur people to give it large amounts, but our shelter supplies did. You might want to dig in and interview some donors like, hey, why? Like, do you think we need more money there? Do you think it costs more? Like, what's the reason? But you can use this information to say, whatever we did for that shelter campaign, let's try to replicate that the next time because the average donation is just bonkers, right? And that's going to be a more valuable effort for us if we spend time focusing there. So I do want to jump to answer some of these questions that are UTM specific, and then we'll jump back broadly, just to open it up for a little bit of a Q&A. Let's see here.
That was awesome. Anybody else mind blown?
There's a lot more. I could talk for hours.
I know. This is such great information. And this is why those UTMs are so important. I shared a link, Tony, while you were talking. I know you have a bunch of other probably options. There's a bunch of free UTM makers. Don't make this hard on yourself. If you search on Google free UTM creator, right? They even have a help. Perfect. This is awesome.
Yeah, this is our help articles. So we detail this in much more detail if you need. And then what Dana's speaking to is just an example. This is a tool from Google where you can literally just enter in your parameters. And then at the end, you'll be prompted with your own link. Yep.
And they always, every time you see these, they always give you, like, you'll see right below, right? Campaign source. This is Google or a newsletter. It's giving you prompts so that you have an idea of what should go in there.
Yes. And then I do want to answer some of these questions. So how safe are UTMs and Facebook ads? UTMs, there's literally not a risk. There's no risk to UTMs. Data is not coming in and out of your database in any weird way. And think of it like this. Fundraise captures the URL where a donation occurred. All we're doing now is just capturing the rest of that information, right? So there's nothing unsafe about a UTM. How safe are Facebook ads? That's a really big question, and it depends on the context. Running Facebook ads for a nonprofit, you're safe. There's not a problem. You control how much you're going to spend. You connect it to a card. You say, I don't want to spend any more than that. So it's like you can control your risk there. Clicking on Facebook ads as a user, that's where the risk might come in, right? Like, are you being misled? Are you being taken to something that is like not necessarily what the ad is advertising? So for a nonprofit running ads, I really don't see a risk there.
No, and I like that's why you pointed out too, talking about this site that you're showing. You want to make sure, and I saw a question about how do you make pictures or content from an ad. You want your ad experience ideally I was just talking to another nonprofit about this. Try and use the same photo that you're using in your ad on your website, because people are like, oh, I'm in the right place. This is exactly what I signed up to see. The colors are the same, right? Try and make it a similar experience. So it's not like a click, like a bait and switch, that it all very much is in a line and makes sense. So I use Canva, honestly, to make a lot of graphics and photos for ads.
Yeah, totally. There's a question here. How do I make pictures and content for an ads? I'm a graphic designer, so I'm going to say, go find someone who supports you, who's an artist. They're going to be very happy to do that. But yes, Canva is an absolutely free tool that you can do that. And y'all, you can go and grab stock photography for free and then put your logo on top of it. Like it's not too hard to get started. A few more of these questions. How long do you run an ad for? Depends on how it's performing. If an ad is continuing to perform well, don't turn it off. If it's not performing, turn it off. So it's really about the performance. Another question here, I think this was relating to the Fundraise editor. Can you use a specific RGB color to match your organization? Yes, and you're going to be excited for the rest of everything that we allow you to do as well. Entirely customizable. That purple color I was using was just because I chose it. All of this can be edited on your end. Yeah.
Awesome. Let's see, did we miss anything?
No, but I see one last thing that says, I honestly feel like I need someone to hold my hand and walk me through things like I'm 5. Get in touch with us. That's what we're here for. So y'all contact Dana. If this is interesting to you, if it's a space that you need to be working in, I'm sure Dana in a moment will give her contact information, but Dana's a person who can walk you through this and hold your hand and talk to you like you're 5. As well, if you're a Fundraise customer or you're interested, if you come in sort of through our doorway, we have a whole success team that I talk to organizations daily about this information. This just happens to be a webinar with a bunch of people, but I specifically will work with organizations and whiteboard out a strategy and talk through this and how they're thinking about their campaign. So we're here to help you. We got your back. It's much more logical than I think y'all think.
Yeah.
Once you make that hump, once you get over that hump, it's so easy. It's just really just getting over that initial hump of the esoteric information.
Yeah, agreed. And I think it's a lot in 60 minutes. This was kind of like a fire rush into it. But once you get to look at it and once you do your first ad, you're like, oh, I got this. Then it's just switching out the creative, switch out the copy, change up an audience. And you're like, I can do this. I just put in the chat, I have an online course and membership where specifically for teaching you everything about Facebook and Instagram ads that you could possibly want. And we have a private Facebook group for the year where you get support and a community to be able to, does this ad look okay? Is this copy okay? I am not sure if this ad's performing well. Can I share the screenshot with you? Like all of those types of questions. And there's live trainings in there every single month. So it's on demand. with the course plus the membership monthly so you can continue to learn all the time. And this is recorded. This will be shared with you all as well. So I am very much a watch, pause, do the work, watch, pause, do the work kind of person. So I would encourage you to absolutely sign up for the Fundraise platform, get your feet wet in experimenting with their tools. Again, they're a phenomenal team to be able to share kind of the behind the scenes with you on how it works in more detail, and happy to help on the ad side. Let us know, was there one thing that you learned today? Drop us a one. Thank you. You're so welcome. I'm glad this was helpful. Please connect with Tony or I individually. I'm on LinkedIn, Instagram, all the places, and happy to chat with you afterwards. Many things. Okay, good. I'm glad. Yeah, hopefully I loved what he showcased. So it's the power of you set it up and it's something honestly so simple. And then look at the data that was pulled from that. That's incredible on the back end. So I hope this excites some conversations internally at your organizations. Tony, I don't know if you have anything else to wrap, but thank you all so much for tuning in today.
Yeah, nothing for me. Thank you, everybody. Good luck.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone.